U.S. stock prices continued to climb as indexes recorded the highest 2 successive weeks of returns this year. The S&P 500 increased 1.4%, the Nasdaq rose 1.4%, and the Dow Jones increased 1.3%. Last week, U.S. economic data was mixed to positive, but the main focus was on Jackson Hole Economic Symposium and Friday's Fed Chair Powell's speech. Gold prices hit another record peak on Tuesday, and silver prices also ended the week higher, caused by a falling dollar. Crude oil and natural gas prices both fell, however, palladium and platinum prices finished higher, underpinned by mostly positive U.S. data. A fresh round of ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas began on Thursday, as market participants observed the Middle East. Yemeni Houthis were active in the Red Sea and hit at least 2 ships with drone strikes, one reportedly carrying crude oil. Stock prices are continuing to climb ahead of the main event of the week, NVIDIA's earnings due to be announced after market on August 28th. Also this week, U.S. GDP data will be revealed on August 29th, while inflation-linked U.S. PCE data will be released on August 30th. Oil prices climbed to a 2-week high early in the week, while silver prices jumped to a 1-month high on Monday. Traders also continue to monitor the Middle East, following reports of the likely resumption of Israel-Hamas talks this week. The pharmaceutical giant stock price rose 2.9% by Friday's close, but on Monday hit a more than 2-month high. Pharmaceuticals are perhaps less popular than during the COVID pandemic, but companies like BioNTech and its partner Pfizer continue developing a combination flu and COVID vaccine against rival Moderna. This week, the stock price climbed after the company began trials on the world's first-ever lung cancer vaccine. Berkshire Hathaway's BH stock price hit a record high and increased 1.3% by close of business on Friday. The holding company controls a range of companies, and though its popular investment fund owns significant minority interests in other companies, BH is run by billionaire investor Warren Buffett. In recent days, the company hit the headlines after it sold half its Apple holdings of 389 million shares for $90 billion. Apple remains the company's largest holding, followed by American Express and Bank of America. Crude oil prices edged lower by 0.35%, but hit a 6-month low midweek before paring most losses by Friday's close. Another round of negotiations between Israel and Hamas continued. Mixed data coming from China and mixed U.S. inventories readings in the first part of the week put pressure on crude prices. However, more positive data from the U.S. and dovish comments from Fed Chair Powell on Friday at Jackson Hole underpinned the commodity's price. Gold prices climbed 0.25% by the end of the week, but hit a fresh all-time high of $2,531 on Tuesday. Upbeat expectations about Chair Powell's speech at Jackson Hole, alongside a positive outlook on future rate cuts, encouraged gold enthusiasts to underpin the precious metal last week, ahead of an expected interest rate cut in September. Palladium prices increased 1.3% by Friday's close, with the metal hitting a 2-month peak on Thursday. The metal's price saw most returns late in the week, with traders attributing Fed Chair Powell's speech to the rise in price. Traders are now looking to Thursday's PMI manufacturing data from China as the next potential catalyst. China is the largest palladium consumer in the world. The GBP USD price jumped by 2% last week, breaking well above the 1.32 level and hitting a more than 2-year high. While the dollar fell against most of its peers last week, the Bank of England Governor Bailey signaled at Jackson Hole late last week that the bank was in no hurry to further cut interest rates. The Bank of England cut interest rates in July for the first time in 4 years, from 5.25% to 5%.